Well, welcome to another episode of Project Garhaven, where today we're back on the Celica. But why? We've already seen this car finished, registered, driving down the road. There's not really anything else left to do, right? Well, no, that's not correct. I did say at the end of the last episode that this is quite an old car, and once it started moving again, I expected things to break, and they have. So today I've got to concentrate on fixing a leaking brake booster hose. The Speedo drive is not working for some reason, or the cable's broken. The seat belts need some work because I'm not happy with them. Need a new interior light and a couple of other niggly little jobs, so I'll get stuck back into it again. Well, I can't hear any hissing out of that brake booster hose now, so I'm going to assume that's fixed. We won't really know until we get the car out on the road and I put my foot on the brakes for the first time and see if it actually works. I mean, the door jamb rubbers aren't completely destroyed, but the new ones are a bit more complete. They weren't that expensive, so I just went ahead and bought them because I needed to order the Speedo cable and the other parts anyway. It's not necessary, but it's just one of those little nice touch things. This sticker here is a bit worn out. I have a replacement, so I just get this off, put the new one on, and that little job's done. Just a little bit of IPA alcohol, try and hopefully soften the adhesive on that label. Bit of a difference. Not bad. Inertia reel seat belts for the rear to fix the slop in those standard sort of belts. It is important to make sure that you get a horizontal mounted inertia reel seat belt as opposed to a vertical. They do work differently. If you try to use a vertical mount like on the fronts in the rear, they won't lock like this, basically rendering them ineffective. That's not safe. So fortunately I found a set in the UK and managed to get them shipped here. Now it's just a matter of taking out the two bolts, one here and here, of the old belts, putting these in, and then test to see if the buckle fits.
Later.
Well, that was a fight, but they're in. No more sloppy rear seat belts, which is a good thing. And they work. Well, the front seat belts work perfectly fine, except for one thing. These drop links are too short, and the seat belt ends up sitting somewhere across your neck, and it's not that comfortable. So I went and ordered some longer ones. These are 150mm drop from the bolt. The replacements are 250, so sit substantially lower, should be more comfortable and a bit more safe. It's just a matter of unbolting everything, which is 2 bolts, thread the new link in and do it all back up. Well, and now the seatbelt's sitting a fair bit lower. It's not cutting my neck. Far safer and much more comfortable. Another small but non-urgent issue is the interior dome light is a bit intermittent. It sort of falters a little bit. It's not very good anymore, so I ordered a replica replacement. All brand new contacts. The switch feels much tighter and better. So I'm going to switch over my LED bulb into this and then fit it in and see if it actually works a bit better. Well, now I need to investigate what's going on with the speedometer. So the cable's on the transmission just about here. So I'll jack the car up a bit, get that off, and see if we can find out what's going on. Actually, on second thought, I think I can reach it without jacking up the car. Well, it doesn't really feel like it's broken. There is one way we can test it though. So what I'm going to do is get a drill on the end of that speedo cable and see if we can make the speedo move. And that way we know if the gauge is good, cable's good, or one of those two might be broken. Let's see, that's mounted. Okay, well, it appears the cable's okay and the speedo's okay, which means it's probably the speedo drive in the gearbox. I've got an oil pan because I'm going to lose all that brand new oil I put in the gearbox from taking this out. Now hopefully what is broken is the shaft with the nylon gear attached and not the drive gear inside the gearbox, because if it's the drive inside the gearbox, I'm not touching that. So there's a little plate holding in a 10mm bolt. Take that out and hopefully this comes out. I'm actually hoping to see some damage. I know it sounds weird, but I'd like that gear to be broken, not what's inside the gearbox. Whoops. Okay, I can't quite see that. Of course, you can guess what size socket that was. Yes, a 10mm. Well, it's good news and bad news. The good news is that gear is actually quite worn. I'm going to say that's the culprit. The bad news is the spare part I've ordered is much longer than this, so isn't a compatible part.
3 weeks later.
Well, I'm back now and I have a replacement drive. This is the original. The length is slightly different. As you can see here, that's worn down to a curve. It should be quite flat, like that. So that's why this was no longer engaging. So from where the seal is to where the drive gear meets is even. This one's going to protrude out a bit more than this one, but that won't really matter too much. So I bought this complete. I could have just bought the shaft and drive gear by itself, but obviously the body being longer, it wouldn't have suited that anyway. So it's a good thing I ordered the complete kit. It also comes with the bolt and the retaining plate. Already has the O-ring fitted, so throw it in and hook up the cable and see if it actually works again.
Later.
So I went ahead and installed that Speedo drive gear. It's the opposite of the removal, so I didn't film that. But now that it's in, everything's hooked up. It's a matter of starting the car, putting it in gear, and seeing if the Speedo responds. Test successful. And a little comfort modification. I'd like to keep the stock steering wheel, but it's just a touch too big. My old body isn't as flexible as it used to be. Trying to get my leg underneath the steering wheel to get into the car is proving difficult, so I'm going to switch over to a smaller sports steering wheel and Boss kit to suit. It's just a smaller retro-ish styled steering wheel with the tri-spoke similar to the factory, but it should give me a bit more clearance to get my old body in and out of this thing. Get the steering wheel somewhat centered because it was pretty close with the wheels. Center badge out. Loosened but not all the way off, so the steering wheel doesn't hit me in the face. That's loose now. Yep, those are the holes that line up. There's two different spacings for different styles of steering wheel. Quick horn button test. That works. Okay. Well, now that they're all in and aligned with the bolt holes, I can tighten them all up. Well, that's all the loose ends and small repairs that have popped up taken care of, which means this car is back to being allowed to go back on the road without any concerns, which means we're at the end of the episode and that's it, except for one thing. In previous episodes, I've had an accountant come by to ruin my day by pointing out how much everything costs, and he hasn't shown up yet, but backed by popular demand, i.e. my wife insisted, here is the accountant to ruin my day. It's like 3 pages here. I'm not going to have enough time to cover off on this, I'm afraid. I'm going to speak to the editor, get him to put this list in a nice scrolling format, which you'll probably see now. I'll cover off on a couple of things, shall I? Things like fuel cell for $204.90. Kind of essential for the car to actually function. Fair enough. The wheels were $800? Yeah, with tyres, and they're cool. Okay. What's this? Like a fuel gauge that you didn't need? Yeah, it was cheap and perfect. So all in all, it ends up becoming a total of $13,052.76. Oh, it's probably enough from me. Well, I suppose it's only fair that I'm transparent with how much a project car can cost. So if you intend to take on one, you can be aware of what you might be looking at. You don't have to go as far as I have. You can go much further than I have, but getting this done to this point, being able to enjoy it, is enough for me. And I think I did pretty well. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.